Facebook got a new friend today, a very rich, very powerful friend. Banking giant Goldman Sachs putting $500 million into Facebook in a deal that figures Facebook's value is a whopping $50 billion. So what does all this say about Facebook and a kind of social world domination? David Muir is here tonight. David.
Diane, the numbers we already knew were staggering. Now nearly 600 million people on Facebook. More internet hits on Facebook last year than any other site. That includes Google. But tonight, the biggest number of all, just how much Facebook is worth.
It's far more than Goldman Sachs simply liking Facebook. This is a giant investment, a reported $500 million just for a sliver of Facebook, a social network reportedly now valued at $50 billion.
Until today, we had no idea it had reached this.
$50 billion is a major milestone for Facebook. Investors are trying to get in because of the potential that Facebook represents.
Attaching a price tag of value to Facebook has been nearly impossible. It's not publicly traded. And as for how much the 26-year-old founder, Mark Zuckerberg, is worth?
What does it mean to you to be a billionaire right now?
Well, I'm not. I mean, the company is a private company, so I don't really have access to any money like that.
He says, I don't really have access to money like that.
I mean, Mark Zuckerberg doesn't have access to money like that, but he's a billionaire. He's worth $10 billion at least. No doubt about it.
There's also no doubt that this new deal with Goldman Sachs is a sign that Facebook is inching closer to going public. A move Diane asked Zuckerberg about in July.
IPO next year?
When it makes sense. At some point along that path, I think it'll make sense to have an IPO.
But long before it does, Facebook is already worth more than blue-chip Boeing, making planes for decades, worth more than Silicon Valley giants eBay and Yahoo.
How much profit? How much income? How much profit?
No, we're not going to answer that question. That's the advantage of being a private company.
Want to give us a hint?
No.
He didn't want to give a hint, but he'll have to at some point.
There's no doubt about it. At some point, Zuckerberg's going to have to give over and kind of show a little more leg.
A little more leg. One way of putting it, there are three ways we'll find out more. One, when Facebook goes public. Two, if the numbers are leaked beforehand. Or lastly, if the number of these private investors beforehand actually surpasses 500. That's when the SEC steps in, Diane, and says we need to start looking at these numbers, which is why Goldman's putting all these investors together as one investor so they don't surpass that number.
Everybody leaning in and watching. Good to see you.